Have you ever thought about how a simple lyric from a song could actually hold the key to, well, taking control of your own happiness? Today, we're diving into this really powerful philosophy for personal agency, for peace, and it's all hidden inside just a few little words. Let's see what they've got to tell us.
And here it is. This is our starting point. Just 5 words, and in the source material, they're repeated almost like a mantra. This is the phrase that unlocks everything else we're going to talk about. But what does it really mean? I'll give you a hint. We're not talking about home improvement here. This is about self-improvement, and on a really fundamental level.
So let's get right to the core of this. We're taking this idea of DIY and we're turning it into a whole philosophy. It's this principle that we are the builders of our own inner world. We're the ones holding the tools, and we actually get to decide what our experience feels like from the inside out. Okay, this definition of perspective is absolutely crucial. See, it's not just a viewpoint that we have, it's something that we actively give meaning to. The lyrics are basically suggesting that the very concepts shaping our reality, our beliefs, our values, they're all built on meanings that we ourselves assign.
And this is where that idea gets really, really powerful. Think about a concept as huge as freedom. The lyrics argue that it's not something you go out and find in the world, it's a perspective that you build inside your own mind. And what that does is it places all the responsibility and, all the power right back in our laps.
Okay, so that's a pretty big idea, right? If we really hold the keys to building our own freedom and peace, then what's stopping us? Why isn't everyone just walking around totally content? Well, the lyrics point to a core conflict. They suggest that if peace is basically everywhere, then something's got to be getting in the way. I mean, look at this contrast. It is so stark. On one hand, we're being told that peace is all around us, like it's the default setting of the universe. But on the other side, the only thing that gets in the way is our self in being. So the problem, according to this, isn't external at all. It's internal.
So let's really zoom in on this phrase, our self in being. You can think of it as that constant voice in your head, that internal narrator, maybe the ego, the part of you that's always judging and creating friction. It's the collection of stories we tell ourselves that pulls us away from the peace that is apparently already there. It's literally our own self getting in our own way.
And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the problem is coming from inside the house, you can't blame the traffic or your boss. You need a completely different set of tools. So, what do the lyrics suggest we actually do about it?
And there it is again. The answer is the principle itself. The solution to this internal obstacle? Do it yourself. It's this constant call to take conscious action inside our own minds, a reminder of the power we already have.
Okay, so it's not enough to just understand the problem, right? We need a process. We need some actionable steps for change. And luckily, the lyrics give us one. They call it flipping your script.
And here's the process, laid out nice and simple. First, you have to choose to participate. You have to consciously opt into this work. Second, you have to truly recognize where the conflict is coming from, that self in being. And third, you take action. You flip the script and you change that internal narrative.
And this is where it really gets personal. What is the story that you're telling yourself right now? What are those internal rules, that script that you're living by? It's a fascinating question, and it echoes everything from ancient Stoicism to modern therapy. But the most powerful point here is that since you wrote the script, you also have the power to edit it. So, what do you get for all this work? What's the reward for flipping that script? The lyrics call it simple integration. And you can think of that as the feeling of harmony, that moment where the internal battle just stops and everything kind of clicks into place. It's a state of peace, but it's a peace that you've actively created yourself. All right, so we've looked at the problem and we've looked at the process. But what's the ultimate outcome? Where does this path of integration finally lead if you really commit to this DIY mindset? Well, the lyrics end with this message of just profound abundance.
This right here is the big payoff. After all that internal work, the source material lands on this incredible idea of an infinite inner resource. An endless supply. Of what exactly? Of peace, of freedom, of perspective. An endless supply of whatever we choose to build for ourselves. So let's just quickly put the whole journey together. It all starts with this idea that peace is our natural state. The only thing that gets in the way is internal. But here's the good news. We have a choice to engage with it. The tool we use is flipping our script. And the incredible result is that we can tap into this endless supply of our own inner resources.
And that leaves us with one final thought. This whole DIY philosophy, it isn't just about finding peace. It's about starting something new. It's creative. Because if you really have an endless supply of potential right there inside you, the only real question left is, what will you create?